control over that camera? Can we zoom out? I'd like to see how filled the stadium is. I've just gotten a monitor here outside. This place will hold 62,000. We're not playing baseball for a while, if at all, tonight. And apparently the preliminary reports of heavy damage, and you saw that picture of the Bay Bridge. You hesitate to call things a calamity and to put captions on this. We're only 30 minutes, 25 minutes removed from the event. So, 25 minutes ago, Northern California rocked by what is apparently a major earthquake that has apparently caused damage. You have seen a live picture of a damaged, apparently collapsed section to the Bay Bridge. That was a picture from the Goodyear blimp that is here with ABC in coordination with ABC Sports covering the World Series. We have been told that the epicenter is out towards the East Bay, about 10, 15, 20 miles east of here on the other side of the Oakland Bay Bridge. And again, that is the bridge. There is no traffic on it. And that is just moments ago. That is not a live picture. And is that the San Mateo Bridge now, I'm being told? That is the San Mateo Bridge, not the Bay Bridge. Do I stand corrected on that? Are we sure of that? I'm told it's the Bay Bridge. Let's get this straight. It's the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge that has apparently sustained that damage. We just want to make sure that we have these facts correct. Well, we will endeavor to nail that down. We will be back. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We trust you will stay with us on this major story of a developing earthquake, the scope of which is not yet apparent. Baseball is well off the front page. There are many more important issues to talk about. We'll try to report them after this. We are back live outside Candlestick Park, an ESPN special report. I'm Bob Lee. We are now 29 minutes removed from a major earthquake that has struck Northern California that has put the World Series in neutral. Again, if there was any confusion, we apologize for it. We have those blimp shots of the damaged Bay Bridge. It is the Oakland Bay Bridge from from San Francisco, basically the center of town, over towards Oakland. That is the bridge that has apparently sustained damage.
Freeway collapsed.
Freeway has collapsed where?
Berkeley.
In Berkeley. And we are relaying media reports, and that is the basis of these reports. And there is a fire is reported in Berkeley. All right, so that is where we stand. We have no reports of casualties. Again, the San Francisco Police Department has told us injuries, yes, damage, yes, fatalities, we do not know. It was approximately 25 minutes to the first pitch on the field when this earthquake occurred. And Candy Maldonado has been with the San Francisco Giants for several years, and even if you only spend 6 months of the year in Northern California, earthquakes are a way of life. Let's listen to his reaction to what happened.
Because, you know, we were down on the ground, and I was over there in my locker, and I hear this noise. And I remember Don Robinson was coming in. It sounds like an earthquake. And then this thing started to really, and I said, wait. As I said, the light went off. And, you know,
the lights were going back and forth.
It went off, and I just looked for the door out. I said, I'm rather be outside than be inside.
Because everybody's trying to run, and it's pitch black in there. And like not trying to.
So that was Candy Maldonado with his reaction to what happened. Now, there are reports, excuse me just for a second, sir. Guys, if you could give us just a little bit of room, that sections of I-80, which is an east-west highway, and 880, which is a north-south highway on the East Bay, that sections of those highways have collapsed. It has been felt, we're now being told, felt as far away as Los Angeles, reported locally as a 5.2 on the Richter scale, and again reported locally on KPIX as the strongest earthquake since 1906. I am going to hazard a guess, and it's totally just a guess, that we're not going to play baseball here tonight, given the scope of what has apparently occurred in this metropolitan area. That is, there is no confirmation on that. There are still thousands. Joe, come on over. Joe Torre, who is analyzing with us, you just left the ballpark. How many people would you say if it holds 62? About half full still, or more than half full?
Probably half full. The thing that scared us, Bob, we were up top. We were about 5 rows from the top where you were sitting there, and it was really scary. And a lot of the people all have transistor radios, all trying to get some information. They say there's some major fires around town and part of the Bay Bridge, and it's frightening at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Have they made any announcement inside to the fans? They made an initial announcement about a minute after the quake. Have they made any further announcements inside?
There was nothing else said, but they still have no electricity, and without power, I'm sure they're not going to try to do anything, especially with what you mentioned, how disastrous this thing could be.
The scope is frightening. I'm sure we're going to work on getting some more player reacts. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah,
it's your first, it's my first, and it's apparently elements of tragedy to this earthquake that has occurred. And again, lost in all of this is that the quake did hit at the hush of the rush hour, even though the rush hour, Chris, come on in, the rush hour was probably less than usual. You and I were right up there, row 17 near the top. You've been out here a number of times. Bay Bridge, 5 o'clock. You know the area well, and we can just hazard a guess and say a prayer for what occurred on the collapsed section.
Yeah, I mean, rush hour, really any hour, Bobby. One thing that we weren't sure of, and I don't know what Joe just said, but we were sitting there in the upper deck, and, you know, we looked back afterwards, and there were some cracks along the upper part. Now, some people who have season tickets who were sitting even behind us said that, oh, no, those were there. A couple other people weren't sure. I don't want to, you know, kind of get anything going like there's a rumor that, oh, my God, the stadium is cracked. Probably isn't, but there were some cracks up there. We've heard KGO reporting out here that, I mean, compared to what's going on the Bay Bridge, and we hear there's a major fire in Berkeley that I can't confirm. Maybe you've heard that already. We saw some smoke from over the bay here at Richmond, where there's some refineries. KGO is saying that they're going to try and play the game, which at this point, you know, kind of seems superfluous. I think most of the people, about half the people, are out of the stadium now. Not that they were fewer in when they gave the announcement in case of an emergency. You know, we're East Coast guys. We haven't been through a lot of these things, but you know, nobody knows about aftershock. The players kind of were on the field, just kind of looking around, not sure what's going on, but I'd say about half the people are now out of the ballpark.
Now, baseball is not what we're thinking and talking about right now.
No.
They haven't made any announcements inside further.
No. They haven't made any. I think everybody's just scrambling right now.
We have a picture, and we can maybe continue our discussion. This is a tape picture from Connecticut. They're going to roll it of what has now occurred within the last several minutes, and there it is. And, oh, my Lord. There's a very dramatic picture, and that was at rush hour. And there are no rescue vessels or vehicles in sight. And I don't know how many thousands of vehicles a day travel that bridge. And I'm going to walk right over to the monitor and try and eyeball that with you at home. I mean, you can see the damage there. A Caltrans bus that stopped to the left there just short. A compact car. The top section, it's a 2-level bridge. Lower level, going from west to east, is the lower level. And when you come into San Francisco, you come over on the top level. And this is courtesy of our friends at KABC, the ABC-owned and operated station here. And now there is a tug out there. This... let me get Chris Myers is our West Coast correspondent, and come over to the other side, Chris, guys, because we're going to try and piece this together. You have been in L.A. for a couple of years. You've been through a few of these, so give us a first person. I know it's unscientific and it's magnified when you're on the top, and we're on the top of the structure. You were here in '87. What was the reading on '87?
Exactly, Bob. Well, I have experienced earthquakes, nothing of this magnitude, and when you're in a house or an apartment in Los Angeles, it feels. The way to describe it, like you're in a shoebox and someone is shaking it. This was different. We were in the highest section of Candlestick Park, a reserved press section.
6'5",
and they're saying, 6'5". They believed it's 4'5" or 6'4". Now they're saying 6'5". But we also understand that because of the power problems, they may not be able to get the lights on here, although we have lights in the stadium to be able to play tonight. So that may be a reason that the game will be further delayed or possibly not even played.
Well, there are people who are seeing pictures perhaps like that who would say that perhaps there are other reasons to not play the game. Now, we have some ABC News footage of a fire which is occurring in Oakland. Apparently, let's take a look at it. We can roll that in, guys, as we're looking at net return.
There have been some refineries, too, that have reported some problems, fires breaking out because of the shaking in the earthquake, Bob. I don't know if that had anything to do with the refineries, but we saw that puff of smoke from the stadium across the bay just moments after the earthquake. The effect in the higher part of Candlestick was a swaying, rolling effect, and at first people thought, you were there, that maybe some noise or vibration, too many fans in one section. That's how it started, and when that feeling did not go away, then we realized it was the earthquake.
That is a live picture. Now, you can see there, that is a golf cart there. That is the lower left picture. That is the cart, I believe, that Commissioner Fay Vincent has been using to get around the park. The commissioner has some difficulty in walking, and so when he visits the ballpark, he does move around that way. There is obviously, is that San Francisco Police Department? It probably is. It is San Francisco Police Department there, or California Highway Patrol. I believe it's a SFPD, and we have an aftershock. You can see it. You can see it.
Right now.
And we are feeling a shock right now, and that shaking in your picture is being amplified by the tremor that has just gone through the top of the stadium, and we are live. They're taking the bases off, 8:41 Eastern, 5:41, and we just felt it out here. We're at ground level. And now 6.5 Richter is what ABC is reporting this shock to be. And it is quite obvious now, quite obvious that this is not it never has been a baseball story. It is much larger than the events going on at Candlestick. We will step aside, Chris Berman, Chris Myers, Bob Lee, and continue from our vantage point to piece together what is a major story that transcends the World Series and is apparently a catastrophe for Northern California. We'll be back. We have more details now on the earthquake, which has hit Northern California, forcing the postponement of Game 3. Berkeley scientists are reporting as a 6.5 to 6.7 at the epicenter, which is approximately where 10 miles northeast of Santa Cruz. That is correct, Santa Cruz. We have confirmation on that. And that would be over again in the East Bay. South of San Jose now. South of San Jose is where the epicenter is being reported as a 6.5 to 6.7. We will have an extended edition of Sports Center at 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern Time on this crisis, its impact on the World Series, and that is certainly most secondary right now. We're standing by to take you live to Top Rank Boxing. Further developments as the news warrants here in the Bay Area. You have seen some dramatic pictures and hopefully news organizations, and we will bring you some of those details as they are confirmed and as the scope of this earthquake is put into perspective. Again, 5:05 Pacific time, an earthquake now reported at 6.5 to 6.7, striking apparently centered south of here on the South Peninsula. You've got some more details, Chris?
Well, Bob, I understand, and my memory serves me correctly, that in 1906, that was in the low 7s. This has got to be up there with as big a one as we've had since 1906 out here, but that famous earthquake and fire, 7.2, 7.3. But it shows you if it's that close, the magnitude of it. I guess we didn't realize it in the stadium. Actually, this stadium is the second oldest stadium in the National League. It was built in 1960. It was the first of the new ballparks. I think that actually that Candlestick has gotten a lot of bad press, some deservedly so, some undeservedly over the years. But actually, perhaps it was built pretty well, because as we can tell, nothing happened inside the stadium.
We're okay, but apparently you can see dramatic pictures of places and people that are not doing nearly as well. Let's now bring you the Commissioner of Baseball, Commissioner Francis T. Fay Vincent, and his announcement on Game 3.
And my judgment was we should postpone this game so that people could leave the stadium in an orderly fashion while it was still daylight.
You feel it will be replayed here, sir?
Well, it'll be replayed. We have to look and see tomorrow what the circumstances are. I need to know a lot more than I know now.
Could one of the options be moving back to Oakland to finish the series if there's no damage there?
Well, we have a lot of options. There's no point discussing them because I don't know what the circumstances are.
Do you know in Section 53 in the upper deck, between rows 18 and 19, there's a crack so big you can look into the bottom of the stadium?
Well, that's a fact that we need to focus on tomorrow. See, we will have the stadium thoroughly inspected, and there'll be no game here until we're sure it's perfectly safe.
Commissioner Fay Vincent. And again, we will have an update in 60 minutes at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I should say 7 o'clock Pacific Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, an expanded Sports Center at 11:30 Eastern Time tonight. That's 8:30 Pacific Time, as we again bring you the story of what has been reported initially, and we have heard nothing yet to contradict this assessment of the earthquake as the most powerful to strike Northern California since the earthquake of 1906. So again, Game 3 of the World Series is postponed.